On the previous episode of Crappy News, I studied up and learned how to control my fear. I don't expect a spray, but I don't want to be surprised by one, so I'm going to get some goggles on, get my mask on. While I was gone during the break and I came back, there was a whole bunch of water that had leaked out from underneath the toilet onto the laminate flooring, so I'm a little worried about what I'm going to find underneath this toilet. All right, toilet, it's you or me. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of water under there. Damn! All right. Yeah, it's a mess. God damn it.
You don't need to be spick and span. You don't need to eat off it. Just give it a good once over. What you need to take care of are the really messy parts. Then you got to soak that shit up.
All right, now the fun part of cleaning. Oh my good God.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
This is one of the more unpleasant things I've ever had to do. Soaking wet under here. God damn it. How about that? Cut off the source of that sewer gas smell.
Hey, how about 4 beans, Mr. Taggart? I'd say you've had enough.
So there's this silicone here from the previous installation that I gotta get up underneath it.
One hour later.
I'm gonna clean up what I've done so far and maybe go get a fan and just let this all dry out for a bit. I've hit a snag. The guys who installed the flooring attached the flange to the subfloor. And so now there's about a 1/4 inch space between where the flange is attached and the top of my flooring. And so the wax just wore out. There's just the water pushed through the wax ring at some point, and that is why the toilet was leaking. So what I need to do is get a spacer flange. So it's a flange that sits right on top of the existing flange. So it basically thickens the flange. The goal is to have the top of the flange at the same level as the floor. The other problem is that when they install the floor, the hole they cut in the flooring is too small. So I can't get the spacer flange in direct contact with the existing flange. So I got to get a big heavy utility knife or something and chisel away at the edges of the flooring so that I can lay that spacer flange on top of the existing flange. So it's a whole thing. Of course, it's a complication that, nothing's easy. So heading back up to Woodinville. So I'm going against my own advice, and I'm gonna try going to Home Depot. I'm willing to try this for a couple reasons. One, it's about 1/4 of the distance, and the other reason is I know exactly what I need. Wow, I just had maybe the best experience I've ever had at Home Depot. I'm standing there in the plumbing aisle, overwhelmed by all of the flanges and accessories and everything, and I can't find the spacer. And suddenly Roy fucking shows up. He's so helpful. He showed me the spacer flange and we talked about the installation. And he said, anything else? And I said, yeah, I need to cut away some vinyl flooring so they can get this spacer flange into place. And he's like, I know just the thing. And he walked all the way across the store to the flooring area. And then he was like, you need this, which is a vinyl flooring knife. So I'm going to use this to cut the vinyl flooring out so that I can get the spacer in place. And then he said, and you're going to need some screws to hold that in place. So he gave me the right screws. And then I was telling him too that the wax is a little built up and a little bit troubling to try to get up and out. And he showed me this stuff too. So I take back my criticism of Home Depot.
1 hour later.
So now I'm going to try the Econolab Industrial Degreaser to see if I can get rid of some of this old wax. Woo, that sewer gas comes right up out of there. Man, there's actually a breeze coming up out of the sewer. It smells pretty foul. That's working better than anything else has so far. You know that outhouse smell? Like if you go camping? Not that it needs to be spotless under here, but it would be nice to sort of start fresh and clean. I gotta go get a light. I gotta cut away all of this so that I can get this new spacer down in that flooring hole. Right now, it won't fit. So it's time to get going on this. This is gonna be a little bit at a time kind of thing. This is a good example of do things the cheap, fast, easy way and redo them a few years later. The only advice I would give anybody is if you're having someone else do the flooring in your bathroom, make sure you show up and just watch them install it. Because this is just a shit show.
2 hours later.
Nicked myself. I'm gonna go wash that.
You're hurt real fucking bad, but you ain't dying.
So I washed it out real well. Got some Band-Aids on it. I'm gonna finish this cup of coffee and start hacking away at the floor again. And hopefully I'll be able to get this spacer flange in. I'm admitting defeat for today. Pretty demoralized by the whole experience. But I think if I come back at it and attack it first thing in the morning, I'll be able to get it. I'm frustrated and angry and tired.